You think you click through a video that's going to tell you you're going to get shredded and lose all the body fat you have in 1 week, you came to the wrong video. In this video, I'm going to tell you the top 5 facts you need to know to lose body fat and that you can implement right now. So without further ado, let's just get into the top 5 topics. Alright, tip number 1, there's no such thing as targeted body fat loss. So if you clicked on this video in hopes that you're going to decrease your belly fat by just targeting your belly fat, if I'm the first to tell you this, you can't do that. So your body chooses to lose belly fat based on your genetics. So people store fat right on their belly, some people store fat on their hips, some people store fat right on their arms. So it depends on how your genetic makeup is. Now you know that, the most you can do is decrease the overall body fat percentage, and then you can see a reduction in your belly fat or wherever you want to lose fat. So that's tip number 1, there's no such thing as targeted body fat loss. So how can you decrease your percentage of body fat? So tip number 2, you can do it by adjusting little things in your diet. So for example, number 1, you can adjust the amount of oil used. So instead of using a whole bunch of oils when you cook, start using oil spray, so which will decrease the amount of calories you consume. Less calories in your diet and more expenditure equals to more weight loss. So for example, if you want to decrease a pound of body weight, so that means you have to compound your caloric deficiency to 3,500 calories. So tip number 2, use spray oils instead of normal oils. Number 3, if you're really strict about increasing body fat, just pick a diet and stick to it. So I recently came across a study that was done on 800 overweight adults, and then they give them a different distribution of carbohydrates, fats, and then proteins, and then at the end of 6 months, each participant lost an average of 6 kilograms over their weight. So that means at least a 10% reduction in their total body weight. So do we conclude this is in total a body fat? No, because some of them can be lean muscle and some of it can be fat. But in conclusion, based on the diets, it says reduced caloric diets clinically, which will equal weight loss regardless of which macronutrient they emphasize on. So regardless of which macronutrient distribution you want, so if you chose 40%, 30%, and then 30% again, and then you chose 50%, 30%, and 20% protein, whichever macronutrient distribution you choose, just make sure you stick to it and you're in caloric deficiency, and you're also increasing your energy expenditure weekly. And then tip 3 is choose a diet and stick to it. And then choosing a macronutrient distribution is because a lot of people ask me macronutrient distribution should they choose. So do they want to choose 50% carbs, 20% carbs, 20% protein? What macronutrient distribution should they choose? There's a lot of information out there on this. So just choose one that's evidence-based, and then to make sure you're not deficient in any other thing. So like be aware of your macronutrients as well. But pick one specific diet and stick to it. You will lose some body fat. So if you're not seeing results right away, just adjust some things and stay consistent with it, because like I said on tip number 2, the calories add up. So concluding tip number 3, make sure you choose a diet that's evidence-based and stick to it. Doesn't matter which macronutrient distribution it is. And then I'm gonna go in a little bit of detail on tip number 5 on the macronutrient distribution. So tip number 4, you can't go to the gym, that's fine. Just walk. Walking is the most underrated exercise I've ever seen, because you can really lose a lot of calories by just walking around your neighborhood, going out on a daily walk twice a day. So you can wake up in the morning, go on a walk, listen to some books or podcasts on your headphones, and then just go out for a walk, enjoy the morning, and come back home and do what you have to do. And then in the evening, same thing as well. Before you go to bed, just go out on a walk, just put your headphones on, just enjoy nature outside. In conclusion, tip number 4, you go out on a daily walk, and then you increase your activity levels by going on a walk twice a day instead of just sitting on and watching YouTube or watching a movie. You can still do that. You can still watch YouTube and your movies while you're walking, which is the goal, and then you still get to enjoy what you want to do. If you want to watch movies, listen to books, listen to a podcast, whatever you may choose. So tip number 5, eat high protein snacks. So high protein snacks, protein is like usually increases your satiety levels, so basically you won't get hungry as much, so you won't get prone to eat snacks more often, which because your stomach will be already full. So which will also like increase your protein levels. So if you have a high protein diet, that means you're less likely to lose lean muscle mass while you're losing body weight. So I'll correct myself in the intro. It's not 5 facts, but more of like 5 tips that I have. And lastly, just make sure you're enjoying the process. This is supposed to be enjoyable and it's supposed to be sustainable. So that's it for today's video, and I hope these tips helped you. And if you like videos like this, again, leave them in the comment down below, and make sure you subscribe and you like this video if you liked the 5 tips, and if you don't, dislike them. And if you have any other comments, just make sure you leave them in the comment down below, because that's what the comment section is for. That's it for today's video, and I'll see you next week. Peace.